Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to go over some unfortunate Steam news as a game will be shutting down forever. A game that actually had a little bit of interest back in 2021, and it was a pay-to-play release. Unfortunately, it will be shut down forever come early 2025, less than 4 years since it dropped. And honestly, having a 4-year survival rate isn't all that bad, but this is a game that will be a bummer to see it go. So we'll talk about that. Bleach is getting a video game adaptation here, and it is going to be dropping here pretty shortly, so we'll talk about that. Hood, Outlaws, and Legends, it has been announced that the game is going to be ending service. This post was made on September the 24th. Hood, Outlaws, and Legends, end of service. Dear Outlaws, we regret to inform you that our game Hood, Outlaws, and Legends will be ending service on February the 18th, so still a little bit of a ways out. After this date, the game, along with any additions, DLCs, and Battle Pass items, will no longer be accessible. So that is a big deal, given that every edition, DLC that you paid for, Battle Pass items, all gone with the wind. This game, this has been a difficult but necessary decision, and we understand that it may be disappointing. The Hood teams deeply thank you for your support and dedication throughout this incredible adventure. We cherished every part of it, and we hope your memories of Hood, Outlaws, and Legends will be as treasured as ours. As a part of the scheduled shutdown process, you will find the two key details, dates with the termination steps. On October the 16th, digital and physical retail sales will stop. Refunds will be offered to players who purchased the game 14 days prior to this announcement until the termination of sales. On February the 18th, end of service Hood, Outlaws, and Legends will no longer be playable. So, you know, it would be nice if they could bake in an offline component to the game, and I do feel like this is a game you could somehow, like, try to get some sort of offline component going, but, yeah, it is what it is. The game is dead. Don't buy it. Like, there's really no reason for you to buy it at this point. This game also was done by Sumo Digital, who are a talented studio. They put out some pretty good games. They actually did Sackboy: A Big Adventure. They did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, Team Sonic Racing, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed Collection. Yeah, they've done some pretty notable titles. Unfortunately, with Hood, the game dropped back in early 2021 and will now be shutting down forever, so it is what it is as far as that's concerned. I mean, this is a reality when you have these multiplayer-oriented games. It would be ideal if you could pivot it somehow to get an offline component. Obviously, that's what people wanted out of Ubisoft and the crew, but they just said nah and shut down the game. Thankfully, with Ubisoft going forward, Crew 2, Crew Motorfest, a big step in the right direction, or at the very least a step in the direction we should have always been in, where it is going to have an offline component. And Hood is another one of those games that, you know, it was $20. There was DLC content release, season passes, battle passes, I should say. When was the last battle pass released? I believe April the 5th of 2022, so you know, that was quite a while ago, so take that for what you will, but the game will be shutting down here February 18th, and sales of the game will be stopping on October the 16th. I know some of you guys are like, you know, wild about it, and you just want these games in your library. Again, I wouldn't be spending $20 for a literal coaster, a digital coaster in your library, but you do whatever the hell you want to do, I guess. Alright, moving on from that, BLEACH Rebirth of Souls has gotten a brand new trailer for the Tokyo Game Show, and it has been announced that the game will be dropping in early 2025. Now, I am a big BLEACH fan, growing up as an anime watcher, you know, in the era where watching anime was still not very cool. I feel like these days, like, everybody watches anime, and it's either a standpoint of everybody watches anime or people just don't give a damn and they're just open about what they watch. Generally, that makes it a more open community, but I do feel like anime is far bigger. But in the heyday of BLEACH, you know, the mid-2000s, late 2000s, I still feel like in that era, anime wasn't as big, and you were trying to keep your anime fandom a little discreet, so to speak. But BLEACH, along with Naruto, I wasn't a One Piece guy. I know BLEACH, Naruto, and One Piece kind of made the big three, but BLEACH, Naruto, DBZ, those were the three growing up in, like, my teenage years that I was super, super into. And BLEACH, you know, definitely had some turmoil with its anime itself, but then recently we've had the relaunch of it, or not the relaunch, the return of it with the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, and that has just been incredibly well received, and people are really, really happy for BLEACH, and it just seems like the IP is bigger than ever, and Bandai Namco looks to be capitalizing on it with a BLEACH video game in Rebirth of Souls. Now, I gotta say, as an arena fighter, which I know people are going to have their opinions on the game being an arena fighter, but that's just what they do with these anime games a lot of the times, I do think as an arena fighter, it looks pretty good. Now, Bandai Namco, with these anime published titles, a lot of the times they are cash grabbing to the high heavens. Like we saw that with the Jujutsu Kaisen game earlier this year, which I legitimately think is one of, if not the worst games of the entire year. Naruto X Boruto Storm Connections was a gigantic cash grab and had like a $95 Ultimate Edition. Like stuff like that is absolutely wild, and the reason they do that is because anime fandoms, like sometimes, especially with an IP like Bleach, JJK, the fandom runs so deep that you're just going to be so down bad and you're going to want an anime game, and even if it's lesser in quality, they can kind of get away with it just with an anime IP that is beloved, translating into a video game. JJK was awful. Bleach, I will say, Rebirth of Souls, based on what we've seen thus far, I do think looks pretty good. The issue it's going to have, and Bandai Namco has yet to really solve this issue with their PC releases, really extends to the Xbox release as well. The online community is just not going to be there after a little while. Like initially when the game drops, that's where interest is going to be the highest. Sure, you'll probably be able to find some games you're always going to be able to play with your friends, but if you want longevity in the game, we gotta add cross-platform multiplayer. This is something that's gotta be a reality in games, especially these anime titles. Sparking Zero is going to be massive, and even with that game, I question that game's longevity in the long run because people are just not going to play the same game for a year, and the community is going to lessen. That is the natural thing. That is like what's going to happen with nearly every video game. And the fact that Bandai Namco hasn't implemented cross-platform play across the board with these games ultimately is hurting these games to find the success that I'm not going to say they overwhelmingly deserve, but they should get. And at the very least, a multiplayer community that has some life to it, that's like a baseline level expectation. But a year from Rebirth of Souls release, at the end of 2025 into 2026, if Rebirth of Souls is like 75% off, let's say it's $15, people are going to be pushed away from checking it out because people are going to be like, there's nobody online, and that's an issue. PlayStation, that side of things, usually there's a somewhat active community, but PC, Xbox, these games don't resonate as strongly. Like if you're wanting to play Sparking Zero, and a big element of it is for you to have a large amount of people to play with. Given that game doesn't have cross-platform multiplayer, PlayStation is probably naturally going to be the place to go. It would be nice if games like Bleach, games like Sparking Zero, even JJK, as awful as that game is, had cross-platform multiplayer just so at least you could go online and have some fun. And I'm sure, again, Rebirth of Souls is going to have that initially, but I just question a year from its release. But, this is me ranting about a game that a lot of you guys are not going to care about, but I'm a huge Bleach fan, and I just want to see the game do well. I want to see it be received well. I want it to be a quality game, and I want it to do commercially well, and you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot as far as these PC and Xbox releases go when you're not having cross-platform multiplayer. Just something I think Bandai Namco should work on, and I know people have been requesting it for a very, very long time. But that is going to do it for me. Again, Hood Outlaws and Legends going to be shutting down forever. Bleach Rebirth of Souls dropping in early 2025. Excited for it, just as a huge Bleach fan. Is it going to be a great game? Probably not. Hopefully it's good. I mean, that's like the baseline expectation. Like, that's a W. If we can get a game at the level of the My Hero Academy games, that's a W. That's all I want, and hopefully we get that in early 25, and maybe sometime in this life, we'll get cross-platform multiplayer as well. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.